Drivers getting tickets dismissed by making a monetary donation to the city.
Sound too good to be true? Well, now the city of Bee Cave is refunding some of that money, and questions are being raised about the municipal judge who authorized that practice. New tonight and only on KXAN, our Nancy Wilson investigates. Nancy?
Well, Robert, and let's say to it. First, you have to understand there's more to a conviction for a traffic violation than just a fine. There are court costs. Now, the fine usually stays with the city, but a big part of the court costs goes to the state. Now, some minor offenses like expired inspection stickers and registrations can be dismissed if the driver takes care of the violations before he goes to court. But we found in the city of Bee Cave there's another alternative to getting a ticket dismissed. All it took was making a donation to the city. Donald Schulich was driving down Highway 71 when he was pulled over for having an obscure license plate. The prosecutor offered him a deal, a $30 fine plus $64 in court cost. But when Mr. Schulich went before this man, Judge Jack Stick, he got another offer. Make a simple $30 donation to the city of Bee Cave and get the ticket dismissed. That may sound like a good deal, but what Mr. Schulich may not have known is if the judge dismisses a ticket like his because the problem is fixed, the maximum fine allowed under the law is $10. Schulich's donation was 3 times the amount allowed by law. We found many cases where defendants were asked to donate more than the court should have fined them under their situation. We also found some defendants were given deals that are not allowed by law. Like this case, John Jordan was cited for going 65 and a 55 along Highway 71. What makes his case different is he holds a commercial driver's license. That means he isn't eligible for defensive driving or another way of avoiding a fine called deferred disposition. Jordan pointed that out in paperwork he sent to the court. The prosecutor agreed, telling the judge the defendant would not be eligible for deferral and recommended a $100 fine and $97 in court cost. But that's not what happened. According to court papers, the defendant made a $200 donation to the city of Bee Cave and was told if he didn't get any new tickets by March 5th, the case would be dismissed. Jordan sent a sworn statement to the court saying he didn't get any new moving violations, even though the letter accompanying the affidavit mentioned he was forced to park his truck for 8 hours due to a violation at a checkpoint in Refugio. Still, his case was dismissed, and that violates federal law. So there's a federal law that says they can't get this kind of deal.
That's right. Federal regulations prohibit commercial driver license holders from getting deferred dispositions or taking defensive driving to dismiss a ticket, whether they're in their personal owned vehicles or whether they're in their 18-wheelers.
It helps DPS track dangerous drivers.
We really want to make sure that we understand what driving patterns, what driving histories commercial driver license holders have. They're held to a higher standard because they drive such large vehicles. We want to make sure that they're very safe because, you know, it takes a lot longer for commercial vehicles that weigh 40, 60, 80,000 pounds to stop. If a person's a bad driver in a commercial vehicle, it's bad news for all of us.
The city of Bee Cave ended up refunding Jordan's $200 along with several other drivers who made the donations at the request of the judge. Now, I talked to a number of the defendants who thought the scheme was strange, but they thought it must be okay if a judge was doing it. Now, the Commission for Judicial Conduct has issued a reprimand against another judge for similar conduct, and we understand that there is a pending complaint against Judge Stick. The Texas Comptroller may also weigh in because when court costs aren't collected, the state loses that money that it's owed for traffic tickets. We'll stay on it and let you know what happens. Nancy Wilson, KXAN Austin News.